And you remember that last class, we asked, we watched the first part of the video, and we asked this question, that because this video, in this video, the brother talks about the relationship with God. And he says, he compares the relationship that we can have with God, the same relationship we have with others, human beings. And so he starts by saying what are the qualities of a human relation, a satisfying human relationship. How can what is a synonym of satisfying? Maybe a fulfilling relationship, or a rewarding, maybe also we can say a rewarding relationship. So what are the qualities of this kind of, we can say, a high quality relationship? Do you remember? Here we have.
I was looking for my notes, but I don't know where are.
Okay, here it says.
I remember trust,
Yes.
mutual respect,
yes, tolerance,
mutual caring.
Yes, and we talked about this word when we mentioned mutual caring, that to care for someone, or this is a very beautiful word, to care.
Yeah.
Because care, what does it mean? In Spanish, it refers to cuidar. Yes. And there are two expressions that are very usual in English. One is to take care of someone or of something, and the other is to care for or care about someone or something. And let's see what is the difference. That here we have. The first one is to take care of someone or of something. That is a very usual expression, because what is the meaning? Can you read?
Yes. To look after, protect, or be responsible for someone or something, it often refers to practical responsibility. Yes. I take care of my grandmother on weekends. Can you take care of the kids tonight?
Yes, this is a very usual question of mothers with little children. Can you take care of the kids tonight? I don't know how to do with the kids when they have to go out. Or someone who has a pet or a puppy. When you have animals and you have to travel, what happens? Like
my neighbor takes care of my dog when I travel. Yes. If you take care of your laptop, it will last longer.
Yes. So these are clear examples of the use of take care of, that are very, it is used in very practical ways. And I now I remember that you don't have dogs, you have cats at home.
Yes, I have 4 cats.
4 cats, a lot. And they are family, or they are all from different?
No, they are all from different places. 2 she cats and 2 he cats.
Okay, and how did they come to your life? You adopted them, or?
Yes, and I adopted 3 of them, and I rescued one of them. he was lying in the street in Funes, almost dying, almost about to die. We don't know what happened to him because he had to be operado.
He had to go to surgery, or he had to be operated on.
He had to go to surgery, and one of his legs is with some difficulties, but he has his legs and he can walk.
Oh, yes.
He can walk, he can jump, he can.
He recovered and he can, yes.
Yes.
Okay. And did you always love animals since you were a child? And how do you manage with your cats when you are not at home? Yes, this is a clear example of to take care of, and
yes, it's
also
difficult.
To care about.
Yes, it's difficult because they are like children.
Yes.
They demand my presence. They are almost unbearable.
And they have an unusual behavior. Do you know that? Yes, you're right that the animals maybe sometimes they are like children, because everyone says that the cats are more independent than dogs,
yes,
but in your case it's not like this.
No, they are always on demand.
And
my presence.
They are very attached to you.
Yes.
They have a strong attachment.
In 2 opportunities, I left them in a hotel for cats. Cat Hotel, it's the name of the hotel. It's here in Rosario.
There are cat hotels.
Yes, it's very beautiful. Yes.
Is it there?
Yes, they had a lot of games, and they had everything that is necessary and more for cats. Stairs, they have many places to stay, and they had a lot of amenities. I don't know how to say.
Amenities, it's okay.
Like a hotel, a human hotel.
A lot of entertainment
yes.
To feel to make them feel like comfortable, and so they don't miss you when you are not with them.
and they upload stories on Instagram, and as you can see, they are good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm playing and doing this or that.
Yes, it's a perfect option when you have to travel, or when you can't be at home. Okay. So, well, the other use of that is also connected what we were talking about is the use of to care for, or to care about something. That it has a slightly different meaning, and it means that something matters to you or is important to you. So what are the examples?
to care for, I really care about this project. This project is important to me. He cares about what people think of him. Other people's opinions matter to him.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yes, this is yes, because this is an expression that that we write down last class. That is what is the opposite when you when you want to express that something is not important for you. You say, "Oh, I don't care." They use it a lot. Okay, and well, here we have a short dialogue about two friends that are talking about what do they care about. So let's you can be Anna and I can be Lucas, and we can read the dialogue.
Why do you volunteer every weekend?
Because I really care about animals. I hate seeing them abandoned. It's like your case. Okay.
That makes sense. I care about the environment, so I try to recycle and use less plastic.
Oh, that's great. I think it's important to care about something bigger than ourselves.
Yes, exactly. When you care about something, you want to help and make things better.
True, some people say they don't care about these things, but I think everyone cares about something. Yes, all of us have something that is important for us. So, and this is in a human level, let's say, but then we also discover that there are ways, and we see, or we can perceive ways in which God cares about us. This is another thing that we saw last week, that I don't know if you remember that there were a couple of words that the brother used to refer to God. That one was God is invisible, but he's omnipresent.
Yes.
And it means that you can't see him physically, but there are signs of his presence in our lives. So, well, now we can watch another part of the video where he talks about this, the ways in which we can feel the presence of God in our lives. So let's watch a bit, and then we discuss or reflect on what we watch. Okay.
The inner relationship with God actually is the same, because a relationship with God is like a graduate relationship. We're stepping up to a whole new level. And we need to discover what ways God speaks to us so that we might listen, and ways that we might relate to God so that we might commune. But you are here now, today, because even though God is invisible and intangible, you have experienced something that was very powerful. It was invisible, but it was very real. And you said, oh, there is an invisible force, an invisible intelligence, a universal love that can impact me and my life. So you're here because perhaps there was a prayer that was answered miraculously, and you couldn't deny it. There was some kind of intervention going on. You had prayed and then something shifted and you really felt it. It was like there was something there that was working for you. Or maybe a mystical feeling of comfort. I know a lot of people feel this when they're afraid and they don't know where to turn. They feel helpless in the face of conditions. And then there comes this soothing feeling of comfort that removes the fear. There can also be an intuitive insight. So you're struggling to try to grasp something or capture something or solve a problem. And all of a sudden an insight comes. And you think, oh, those aren't my thoughts. That wasn't my thought. It has come from another source that, is bringing the solution. I was talking this last week with a young woman in Alberta, Canada, and she told me, she said, "Brother, I used to feel empty and lonely. But since I have committed myself to daily meditation practice, a shift has taken place. There is a mysterious fullness of heart. It's always with me now. Is this God?" And of course I replied, yes. It's invisible. It's in many ways very subtle, but it's huge in its impact. There's no more insecurity. There's only this fullness of heart and mind, this reassurance, the soothing reassurance that everything is okay. So God speaks to us in the language of the heart. And this is the way that God starts a relationship with you and I. We have these mystical signals that there's something else touching our hearts and minds. There's a definite presence, and it feels sacred. It may happen only now and then again, but yet it's proof that God does exist and God is with us. I was leading retreat programs in Europe, and early one morning I was out walking in the Swiss countryside, and I was on a pathway through an alpine meadow. It was a beautiful morning, and there were cows out grazing. The bells were clanking. And I stopped to look at the mountains and the meadow and the yellow buttercup flowers, and I was just kind of standing there enjoying the scenery. And one of the Swiss brown cows caught my attention, and she was curious, and she kind of walked over with her bell clanking, and she walked right up to me. She was chewing on grass and a few flowers hanging out of her mouth. And she just came up really close, and she kind of sniffed me. I didn't pet her. I thought maybe I would, but I just looked at her, and she just looked at me. And we were just looking at each other. And all of a sudden, I saw God in her eyes. There was a cosmic intelligence that was flowing through her eyes and was looking at me. And all of a sudden, I was looking at God, and God was looking at me. And I just stood there, with amazement. And she was chewing on the flowers and just staring at me, almost not blinking. And then she got bored and walked away. But I took something special with me. God was watching me, and I was watching God. Sometimes there's that experience where you are outside and you are looking up at the stars. And it's one thing to gaze at the stars, but have you ever had the experience of the stars gazing back at you?
Okay. Well, yes, I'm laughing because I haven't watched it fully before, and it's connected what we were talking about. But he's talking about how sometimes, well, I like the words he uses to describe God, that he says, let me share the screen with the text again so we can write down the words. that God is, he uses the word that God is invisible, intangible, invisible. What else? Intangible. And he uses the word, he's subtle, that sometimes he's very subtle, but anyway, we can feel his presence. And he also talks about what? How he manifests his presence, or how can we feel his presence sometimes in difficult times, or when we feel very sad and we are praying and we are desperate many times. But at some point, we can feel a sense of comfort, this is, and also he uses another word that is sometimes, yes, he uses this word, insight, that when you have, can also be an intuitive insight. That is something that you know or you feel, and you don't know where it comes from, but you can feel it very strongly. And or he says that this is, you know that many times we talk about intuition, that this is a kind of knowing that is very deep and we have no doubts, and well, sometimes it's bringing the solution, he says. And well, I was laughing because I like this comparison that he makes. You know that we were talking about animals, and well, he talks about a cow that it was in a meadow. One day he was giving a retreat in Switzerland. And this also happens, that's why many people love animals so much. This happens with animals and with nature also. That's why we love to be in nature. Because, and why do you think you can feel the presence of God, or something that is sometimes we don't name this like this, but it's something that gives us a lot of peace and comfort, and a peace that is greater than normal peace. And why? Why do you think that in nature or in animals is like of easier for us to find this in nature of in animals than in another human being or in the things of the world?
Because nature has not modifying their essence.
Yes.
Then they are not polluted.
Yes.
By
what? By mind. There's no mind there. And so that's it feels redundant, but nature is natural. It's like this. This is the true essence of life. And this, what he describes that he saw in the eyes of a cow, you can see in the eyes of an animal that you love, for example. I'm sure that you have felt this in your cats, for instance. That and that's why we love animals, because they are like a clear example of unconditional love. And you can perceive this in them. Okay, but this same love is the love that we are. All of us are. But what happens? It is covered. It is masked by our conditioning and our ego. And that's why we have to go deeper to connect with this love that we are. First in us or within us. And then it will be easier to see it in others. Okay. So, and these are, yes, the mystical signals he refers to. Okay. So, here we have found a way we can use these animals or nature as a way of connecting, or as a bridge to our natural essence. That's why we love these places also, because in these places mind also means what? Words and talking and noise. And we love silence. Why do we love silence? Because silence is our essence also. And we are kind of afraid of silence sometimes. But that's why the spiritual masters say you have to come back to silence. You have to return to silence. Because as our life has become so mental, sometimes we feel that if we don't have words, or if we don't have information in this way, that is the most important way we have learned during all our lives, is like we are nothing. If we don't have information, or if we don't have these concepts, we are nothing, or we are very, very afraid of doing nothing. I know many people that they have to be doing something all the time, because if they are not doing, they feel useless, that they are, or they get bored. And what you discover is what? That there is something.
They are escaping.
Yeah.
By doing things all the time. Many people recognize that.
Yes.
I have to be busy because if not, I have thoughts, or I have to face something, or I have to solve a situation.
Yes. So if they are busy, they have like the excuse that they don't have time, or they don't have to think.
Yes.
And they get like, this is a way of disconnecting from yourself also. And they learn to live in a very automatic way of not feeling nothing. So this is a way that we have to reverse. And sometimes life takes you to extremes, because if you are not able to stop by yourself, life makes you stop in a way. Something happens, something unexpected or something painful that you have no way other to stop. It is like this. So, but well, that's why, what do we say? That we have to learn to listen to ourselves, because it is not necessary to come to that extremes. But what happens? That sometimes we don't know how to do it. But well, we can learn from these difficult situations. Okay. Well, we can now watch a little more of this video. Let me
This is what God is in divine omnipresence. There's a cosmic intelligence that's everywhere, and God is expressing through it. The Bhagavad Gita describes this perfectly. Krishna says in chapter 6, verse 30, "He who perceives me everywhere and beholds everything in me never loses sight of me, nor do I ever lose sight of him." And Paramahansa Yogananda comments on this. He says, "To the ordinary person, God seems to be absent or vanished from the universe. But the yogi sees the ever-watching eye of God gazing at him through all windows of space. The face of his cosmic beloved is omnipresent." And our late president, Sri Dayamata, used the same verse once in an inspirational talk. "He who watches me always, him do I watch. He never loses sight of me, nor do I ever lose sight of him." And then Dayamata said, "I pray that from this time on, you will silently watch that beloved one. He remembers us always. It is we who are forgetful." So whether God is he or she, or God is universal cosmic intelligence, which tends to be my Ishta, In India, there is the Ishta, or the God identification, the one that you can relate to. For me, it's like a universal cosmic intelligence, and I'm perfectly intimate with that concept. So no matter what concept of God is familiar and comfortable for you, God has created us all. And God has created us and loves us equally. He who watches me always, him do I watch. He never loses sight of me, nor do I ever lose sight of him. Now, is God playing favorites? That is, I only watch the ones who watch me, or I only care about those who watch me. But the answer really here, I think, is that God offers silent, invisible love and watchfulness for all souls. And this verse is really inviting you into an interactive relationship. And this is one of the dynamics of a successful relationship. It's interactive. It's mutual. And so God is saying, step into an interactive relationship with me.
Okay, it seems a bit abstract, but it's very simple what he proposes, because we have this quality of God, of being invisible, intangible, subtle, gives us the opportunity. How can we relate with someone or something that is invisible, is intangible? We have to develop first trust, or just open our mind and our heart to a different kind of relationship in our lives. But because I'm sure that you had some experience like this, that something unexpected happened for the best, that you could experience that, well, here is the hand of God, because it was like a miracle or something magic that comes from nowhere. And as your life sometimes changes due to some unexpected thing that is difficult that happens, it is also an opportunity that opens the door for something. He, at the beginning, he talks about the relationship with God, and he says it's like a graduate relationship, that it's a kind of, it's a relationship of other level. And if this comes to us, it's because we are kind of prepared to go further. That we have to be open to have, if we, there is another dimension, and there is another way of living, although we are in this life. But we have to open the door, and we start to, at first, like the signals are very few. But what else? Trust, we have to change our way of seeing life. And it is not for everybody, but we can do it. Because when you start doing this, your life changes completely. But what is the first thing that you have to do, and that for us is kind of difficult?
Trust.
Yeah. Because, and they also, another way of saying this is become friendly with uncertainty. Because we are very used to plan things, and we need safety. We need to be, and that's why this kind of very difficult things happens to us.
Mm-hmm.
For example, well, you have undergone a situation that you lost your job, and yes, it is, and it happened to me also, that there are and I for almost 20 years I worked for a company, and I had my salary every month. And when you lose this, you have no option but to trust. But when you begin this, then you begin to experience that life is much fun when you begin to trust, because it's much better to don't know what happened, don't know what will happen, but you have to develop this trust that it is okay if you don't, but if you don't know, but you know that what will happen will be for the best.
Yes.
So, and you begin to feel a great sense of relief, because we are so used that everything has to depend on us, and that we have to make a lot of effort to achieve something. It is not that we have to do nothing, but life can be much lighter for us if we trust. But well, we have to just at least try. There is an expression in English that they use a lot, that is, or I will share, give it a try. Just give it a try, they say. Yes. And you begin to discover many, many things that you say, oh, yes, it is difficult. It is very difficult. But if you ask the question, for whom is difficult? Or who is saying it's difficult? Your mind saying it's difficult. Your condition, what you have learned. So this is the phrase we can state for this evening. Give it a try and see what happens. It connected with what? With trust.
Yes.
It's another way of saying you have to trust. Okay, my friend. Well, you know that this is something that I love also, that in just a few words you can summer A very
big idea.
yes. So let's remember. Just give it a try. Okay, well, today, to finish this, and we have two kind of ways of starting to develop trust or this connection or this relationship with God. One is to pray, another is to just sit and try to meditate or to contemplate. Not to pay attention to our thoughts, but to our heart. So let's try to do it. We are going to make the meditation that he does at the beginning of the talk, and which last a few minutes, 5 or 6 minutes, I don't remember. So we can start to develop this different relationship with God. Okay, let's here. Okay. If we want, we can close your eyes. So it's easier not to get distracted.
We are gathering peace in our hearts, and we are sending love and healing peace. All are God's children. And now, with your eyes closed and the gaze lifted toward heaven, draw a slow, gentle, inhaling breath. Exhale and relax your body. Let the mind and the emotions remain quiet. And feel stillness within you. Guruji says that stillness and calmness of heart and mind is the altar of God. Now feel within you, flowing from the stillness within, a vibration of soothing peace. It fills your body, it fills your heart. It consumes your whole being. And this tangible vibration of peace felt in meditation is the presence of God within you. Concentrate on this peace and it will begin to expand. Feel it growing with intensity and strength. Let us send our love out as we chant Om together over and over again.
Okay. Well, this only little thing is what we have to try to do a bit more. You know that here we can experience this, that only a few minutes make the difference. Okay, my friend. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And remember, give it a try. And see you soon.
See you. Thank
Bye.
you.
Mm.